Alrighty. I'm good, bro. I'm good. I realized, how you asked me. Sorry, I didn't realize how low my camera was down there. Like
my mic's been muted for 2.5 minutes. So hi.
Oh,
I just went on a rant about how minging my desk was, just in case
you me just like standing there. like,
so you were just talking to yourself for a little bit.
How low down my camera was. It looked like I was just like a head with no body. Yeah, I was just distracted because you said like message in the chat to say that obviously that will be live in a second. I realized that I'd messaged on like a staying connected, which is scheduled like 2 weeks from now.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
I was looking at it. I was thinking, why is this not like right?
Why is no one here?
Like, oh.
Yeah. Good evening is what I said. That's all you missed basically. Charlotte, I think you should be able to hear us now, but also hello. Thanks for letting us know that I broke it. I was going to say something else now and can't remember what it was.
It's all good, buddy.
It's gone now. I can't remember. So yeah, hi. Hopefully everyone's alright. Hopefully you're alright, Daniel, is what I was asking you before.
Yeah, I'm okay, mate. Not too bad.
Cool.
Been soaking up the weather, and
some of that vitamin D.
Nice. And more and more places are opening, so it's nice as well. So it's cool, man. It's looking like it's returning back to normality. So
yeah, so far so good. Places are cracking on again and opening up, and everyone's doing the social distancing, I think, from what I've seen.
Yeah. It's getting better and better.
How are you guys doing? Let us know in the chat.
Yeah.
We've had, let me just double check that I've got it queued up, a few things sent in, so let me just whoosh over to my Google Chrome thing. So Lisa Miller of Media Savvy, her daughter Emily, has been part of a virtual choir. I think I played it the first time around.
Oh, right, yeah.
So we've got they've released another song.
Brilliant.
So let me just quickly serenade you guys with that. Last time it didn't work, so this time we're going to do this, and we're going to hope for the best.
Fingers crossed.
It looks like it's already crashed my computer, which is... Oh, no. Oh, dear me. Hang on, let's pause it. The audio's playing, but the video's sort of lagging a little bit. This might be where my computer blows up, everyone. So, good luck. We'll let the page load and we'll let the video buffer.
See how we get on.
And then we'll go.
It doesn't mean you're letting anyone down. Take a moment, unaffected, breathe, try out a new perspective. Let your feet feel solid ground. I promise you, there's nothing here that we can't pull through. We all could use some mending, but perhaps a better ending is worth looking forward to. We can't say with any certainty that tomorrow we won't cry, but we also might just laugh and smile and cheer. Things are hanging in the balance, but together you and I can work as one to tackle any fear. There's no comfort quite so simple as I'm here. It's a change that's too big to be made in an instant. It's a hope too far that we might so quickly succeed. But if we can still stay as we go through each day, that we'll aim to let our light shine. That's the only lifeline.
I can't tell. The issue with this is I can't tell how loud it is for you guys, so sorry if I'm deafening you with that.
I can't hear it because I got the screen muted, so.
But it's really good, and there's the bit that I was going to say is my favourite bit is when all the music sort of kicks in. But I'll put a link to it in the chat if you guys want to check that out afterwards. Like I say, I might have just deafened everyone in the entire world with that, like I did with the survey alarm, so sorry. I can see the bars in OBS to see how loud it is, and it looks all right, but I can never tell how it comes through on YouTube. So
that's what I always think.
Soz like. We also have another piece of music. We're very musical today. And this one was sent to us by K-Star22, who is one of our long-term sort of partners at Media Savvy, and he works in the probation service, and possibly is going to feature as a guest on one of the Friday Staying Connected ones. He's one of the managers at Northumbria. Is it right? Hang on.
CRC?
Is it CRC? Community Rehabilitation Company. Yeah, so NCRC, isn't it? Yeah. And he has very kindly, and I need to do a little bit of tech wizardry here because we're going to try and capture someone's reaction to it. If you just give me a minute, look at all the crap stuff. We'll say stuff on my desk. That's a nice cup of green tea there. So hang on, let's play that. Okay, hopefully that's not going to be too loud. And I will quickly run into the other room.
My name's Leon. I don't think I've introduced myself yet. My name's Leon. I don't think I've introduced myself yet. My name's Leon. I don't think I've introduced myself yet. My name's Leon. My name's Leon. My name's Leon. My name's Leon.
Hey, God, right.
That is close.
So, right. As a bit of background to that, Leon loves Out Like Drum and Bass, and Keith makes music in his own time, but he normally does a bit more trance stuff. But he's done Leon a drum and bass track because he's off back to work soon in the RFA. So he's had a custom track nicely made for him.
That's class.
Oh, I hope that hasn't lagged too much because it says there's a poor connection. I'll be really disappointed if that's not come through. But yeah, so sound is okay. Fantastic. Yeah, guys, we'll pass that message on to say that Emily's done really well in that, and check it out as well because obviously that link's there. But we'll probably put a link up to Keith's track as well for Leon because I honestly really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good tune. It's
so
awesome, man.
Hopefully you'll be on the show on one of the Friday slots, and he's done Leon a bespoke song with a clip from what we think's Resident Evil 2. Me and Daniel.
What it sounds like, yeah.
We did some nerd thinking, and we reckon it's Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
But if anyone else knows, I reckon Gary or Anthony might know. Otherwise, if it's wrong.
True that.
But yeah, that's the music segment is over. But it'd be nice to have a music segment every week. So if you guys are making any stuff at home, send it in. We'll hire it up there. I know Anthony's here, and he's been doing a bunch. He's just got a new amp. I think he sent us a picture of his amp today. So if you get out recorded, Anthony, send it over, and we'll have a gang, have a listen.
Yep.
Let me know if the audio is all right because I'm getting loads of messages kicking off, but I think we might be okay. Yeah, so far so good on my end, but we'll see if we're struggling.
It's all right in the Zoom call.
Yeah, I think we're okay. Sound okay. So Daniel, I gave you the task this week of finding the uplifting news.
We've got some good stuff, I think so.
Yeah, so we'll this is a Daniel inspired one. Last week obviously we did the mental health one for Mental Health Awareness Week, so this week we're back to just good news in general. So what did we find? I've got the first link that you sent us in that list. If you want to just go into it, because I've read through them a little bit, but it was a bit of a skim read. So I don't know if you want to have a little.
Yeah, let's have a quick look, bro. Which one are we bringing up?
It's the Costa Rica one.
Okay, the Costa Rica one. Yeah. So basically, Costa Rica has legalized gay marriage, basically, which is a great thing, and it's a huge leap forward for them, obviously. And minutes after that happened, they had the first same-sex couple to marry on live TV, and obviously quite interesting because it had to be obviously a small ceremony due to the coronavirus, and like the priest wearing a face mask and so on. So or maybe not the priest, but the person who's doing it is wearing the face mask.
Whoever was officiating.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, they're just saying that it's like a huge kind of leap forward for them. And yeah, it's just a great thing that that these people are able to marry now and get together. So I think that's pretty much it, really. But I think obviously it's a pretty uplifting thing.
Definitely. So it was on TV as well, which I thought was a bit strange.
It's a bit weird.
I think it was because it was a flagship moment, right? So
exactly. I just think as well, like some South American countries they're a little bit more conservative sometimes. So I think that something like this for one of these countries is quite a big deal, you know what I mean? So
so the campaign director had said it's a message of a better future for thousands of couples and families who receive legal recognition they deserve. So I think that's the other thing, isn't it? Like being recognized legally in those states, and getting the same rights and stuff.
Definitely. That's a big point there, mate.
Yeah, I think that's good. Really good one. I'm just citing to the article here. Yeah, so I think there'd been people trying to delay the reform as well, but they hadn't managed to do it. So I think they'd done it as like a watershed moment almost, which is cool.
Exactly.
I can hear. Yeah. I don't know if you picked it up in the background. Leon's listened to his new track and he seems buzzing with it. So really good news on that front. Daniel, I think the chat on my window is frozen. So can you keep an eye on it, because nothing's coming through on mine. It's unable to connect.
I'll see
if anyone's asking any questions or anything.
No problem.
Because I'm without the chat at the moment. I'm going to close some of these windows down as well, because I've got about 1,000 windows open.
Yeah, it's not going to help. I don't think.
Lagging my computer to bits. Yeah. Right. So yeah, that was in Costa Rica. We've got 6-year-old exchanges gifts with Tony Hawk.
Yeah, this is so cool. This is probably my favorite one out of the ones we're looking at today.
Yeah.
So basically, this is just that 6-year-old boy's dream came true after a FedEx driver helps him to exchange gifts with Tony Hawk. And basically, the story is that the little kid saw the FedEx truck in his neighborhood. And he ran over to it, and he said to the guy, he was like, can you give this skateboard to Tony Hawk? And the little kid passed him the skateboard, right? And the delivery driver took it, and then he put a video on TikTok, the delivery driver, saying, listen, this kid has given me this skateboard
Tony,
please. to give to Tony Hawk, so is there any way that anyone knows how I can get it to him? Just randomly. And then so many people tagged Tony Hawk in the video. And then Tony Hawk did his first TikTok in 2 years or something, I think it was. And he sent him a message back, and Tony Hawk was like, "Oh, I'm so glad that for the gift. Thank you for the gift.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to give you this skateboard that I'm riding on now." Because Tony Hawk was in his skateboard, I guess, in his house.
It's probably his house, yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. I watched his cribs, and he does have a massive skateboard. And he was saying, "Yeah, this skateboard that I'm riding on, I'm going to send this to you." Yeah. And then there was just a follow-up where he gave the kid a huge package of stuff and his own skateboard and things like that. So
yeah,
it's just a really cool kind of...
I've got the TikToks there. I don't know if we're going to...
Yeah.
Hey, Cooper, what's up? It's Tony Hawk, and I just want to say thank you so much for the skateboard. It's on its way to my house already, and as a thank you gift, I'm going to send you my skateboard, this one right here that I'm riding. All right? Thanks, buddy. I hope to meet you sometime.
Tony Hawk has the most generic American accent I've ever heard.
Yeah. So
hang on.
Thank you so much for the overwhelming love and support you gave the last video I did about Cooper. And to Tony Hawk, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to do something so kind for this kid. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. You've earned a lot of respect from me. And I want you all to meet somebody.
Hello.
What's up, Cooper? What do you want to say to Tony?
I just want to say thank you for the skateboard, and you're a very great skater.
That's awesome, man. Hey, you're such a sweet kid, and I'm really glad this worked out for you. So, yeah, keep skating.
I just wanted to say that.
Thanks, Tony Hawk. You're a really great skater. Is that fair? I mean, accurate. Definitely accurate.
True.
He is a very good skater. He seems like a nice guy, to be honest, Tony Hawk. He was on the Joe Rogan podcast recently, and he's doing a bunch of stuff, I think.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I've seen of him, like he just seems like a pretty straight up, like nice guy. To be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to that interview, and he was saying like he's had the opportunity to not be a nice guy as well, basically, because I'm sure he's been like a millionaire since he was about 18 or 16 or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
He's been like set for life since he was a teenager. Yeah. But he's obviously not lost his nice guy sort of attitude, which is good.
Definitely.
So next one, we've got a plant-based bottle design. So is this like, I saw something about this on Twitter, but I never got to read up on it fully. Is it a biodegradable?
Yes, so we have covered this before, but I thought that the main reason like to put it on was because they've actually put a little bit more information about it, and they've also actually got like a picture of the design.
Yeah.
So if you look on there, that it shows that, you know, there's the Carlsberg design of it.
Yeah.
And it looks, I don't know, it's kind of interesting, right? I don't know if it's maybe a little bit ugly. I think we could probably say that, but.
It's going to be sort of, you're going to have to take design's going to have to take a bit of a backseat, I think, when it comes to like recyclable bottles and stuff.
Definitely.
Or biodegradable anyway.
Yeah. But the point is that this bottle, they're saying if you put it in like a compost heap, I think it says it'll biodegrade over a year. But then if it's just like general like landfill, I think that said it would take 3 years. So in a natural environment, it'll take 3 years to biodegrade.
This current bottle.
Yeah. So 1 year in compost, and then 3 years in a natural environment. So that's pretty good.
That's really cool, because I was telling you yesterday, I watched that. There's a documentary series on Netflix called History 101. Yep. And they were explaining like plastic bottles, while some of them are recyclable, if they end up at a landfill site, the ones that aren't, they can take like a couple of 100 years to break down naturally, and some of them they don't even know if they will. Like certain types of plastic, because of the way they've been made, they're bonded together forever in the carbon bond, so it's almost impossible to break them. So they just never break down. They'll always exist as a plastic bottle,
and that's crazy, right?
And obviously they're either like sit in the ground, underground, buried, or like, I don't know, Elon Musk will have to like shoot them into the sun or something. I don't know. Don't know what he's going to do. Though. Something like that's going to have to happen. Yeah. So this is really cool. Easily. So it's a Dutch company, right?
Yes, it's a Dutch company. Obviously, we mentioned like the
Avantium. Is that them?
Yes.
Yeah. Avantium is weathered through COVID-19 slowdowns well, partially because the potential of its plant-based plastic to solve ocean and landfill pollution is so promising. So that's the issue at the minute. Obviously, the landfills and the ocean just being kind of crammed full of plastic. These should break down, like you said, within 3 years. So the biorefinery will break down waste from corn, wheat, and beet to create 5,000 metric tons of plant plastic in the first year. 5,000 tons probably sounds like a lot as well. 5,000 metric tons, but I bet in the grand scheme of like the bottled, say even just beer and nothing else that comes in a bottle, that's probably not a lot when you think of how much goes out. So this is like a test, I'd imagine, to see if it's like financially viable and if it works. But it's good.
It's like you said as well. It's if you've got companies like Carlsberg and Coca-Cola signing on to it, then it's, you know, that's like a massive thing already. It's already like a lot of progress made there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you just need, like you say, one big brand to jump on the back of it, and I think a lot of them will follow.
And I mean, if Coke's doing it, you can guarantee Pepsi will probably sign on to it.
Yeah, well, yeah, almost certainly. It's like an easy PR point for them. So I think a lot of shops are going paper bags only as well. So they trying to get rid of plastic bags now. I know Greg's actually Reds and Sunderland only do paper bags now.
Let me tell you, right? I hate it, but I mean, I guess it's good, but I do hate it. But like basically, McDonald's, the straws are like paper.
Oh right, yeah.
And I mean, yeah, it's great.
They're awful, like, but yeah.
But dude, the quality is so bad. Like literally, like I had a milkshake one time, and it was like literally the straw just dissolved into the thing, and it's like, what am I supposed to do with this?
It's like a tube of mush that you know.
Yeah. It's like literally wouldn't even work by the end of it.
You can get more durable ones than that. I think they've just gone for the cheapest possible ones ever created. Probably cost them like a penny for each one. Probably not even that.
It's fine if you're having like Coke or something, but if you're having a milkshake, they're just not cut out for it. Like, so
to get a metal one that you just have to have a reusable straw.
It'd be like one of those weirdos who comes in with their own straw
and your own cutlery in there, just bring like a knife and fork, chop up your Big Mac. Not that it's open at the minute anyway, so you're all right. You'll be fine.
I know.
You'll get by.
Morrison's is going paper based, said Charlotte.
What's that?
Charlotte said Morrison is going paper based with their bags.
Yeah, I think, like I say, I think a lot of them are like Holland and Barrett do it now, I believe. Of the last time I was in there, which was like a year ago, but like I think they jumped on it sort of first. I think they were in the first places. I remember when Coca-Cola started selling a brand of bottled water, and there was a real scandal as it turned out to be tap water. Why am I not surprised though? I mean, if you're really interested, you should look at what Coca-Cola used to originally put in the drinks, and then you tell me what you think of that company.
I know. Yeah, the history of how that drink is pretty interesting.
Yeah. Good luck. Just look up the original recipe, and you'll see what I mean. If there's a few good videos on YouTube about the history of Coca-Cola and the company, and that it's pretty good. Dasani, was that it? Dan saying Dasani. I didn't know that had turned out to be tap water.
I didn't know that either. I've heard about that, mate.
That's absolutely mental.
But the thing is that the whole bottled water industry is completely scandalous. Like, there's this whole brand of like premium water, and water's water, and it just tastes like water. And also, like, although there may be like a level of like filtering you can get, or like mineral water, which may make it like slightly better, there's definitely a limit.
Yeah,
and it's like insane thing like diamond water and stuff. Where, like, it's been
smart water,
and it's like what? It just doesn't make any difference, and it costs like $5 a bottle. Or something. It's like, it's so stupid.
Oh, what's the one in like it's like a cylinder? I can't remember what it is.
Yeah,
with a grey top. Voss?
Yeah,
is it Voss?
Yeah, Voss. Yeah, dude, and it's like because of the way that it's packaged, but it's water at the end of the day.
I'll show you. Hang on, guys. This is it. 24 quid. What? Oh, it's for 12. It's for a 12 pack. I was gonna say. Yeah, but that's it, Voss. You'll probably see it in the shops. It looks like a perfume aftershave bottle.
There honestly couldn't be a more better like embodiment of capitalism or consumerism than premium bottled water. Like,
to be fair, like... I quite often buy bottled water because it's like, I don't know, I feel a little bit better when I'm drinking it when it's been bottled at source rather than run through the taps. Yeah. But I drink tap water. I drink tap water quite often as well.
There's an insane convenience to it. I totally agree. But
I know people who won't drink tap water though, and they'll only drink bottled water, and it's like for a hygiene concern. And I think that's fine. I guess that's what you think.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, definitely not going to be buying any water that's been poured over diamonds anytime soon. Like
one of the most insane ones as well is where you see, like, if you go into any pharmacy or even like Tesco's and you look at the ibuprofen, which is like 40 pence.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You look at like something like Nurofen and it's like £2, and the ingredients are exactly the same. It's like,
well, the box dimensions and stuff are often the same because they're made in the same factory, but they've got a different label printed on them.
And people would rather pay like £2-3 because they think, oh, it's Nurofen.
Yeah,
but it's like, it's just ibuprofen. It's exactly the same.
It cost them like 10 pence or something for a box to make.
Yeah,
and they're selling it to you for $2.50. It's mad. Like, but just on the note of Coca-Cola, if you look at what they did during the war, like they made sure to cover all the bases because they were selling Coca-Cola to Americans, and then they were selling Fanta to the Germans as well. They were just like sort of playing both sides.
Wow.
Because if you look under the Coca-Cola umbrella, they own pretty much not all of them, but they own so many like soft drinks. It's unbelievable. They'll never not be churning out, cheap soft drinks.
Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes it surprises you as well because there's certain I'm sure they do like certain orange juices and stuff
Yeah.
Although
they own it, don't they? It'll be under like the Coca-Cola umbrella. It's the same with Nestle. Nestle is similar as well.
It's weird when you look at the back and you're like a Coca-Cola product. It's like pretty crazy, but yeah, they do. They own quite a few things.
Aye, man. I don't know how we got. Oh yeah. So anyway, yeah. If someone like that's the point we were making. I think was that if one of the big brands like that under that has a big umbrella of products, if they get behind this sort of recyclable or biodegradable bottle, then it'll be great. These guys probably won't be it. Like they'll come out with a prototype, and I reckon one of the bigger companies will jump on it and buy it from them and say, you know what, we'll have that. That can be ours, which is fine.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Everyone gets paid, and the planet sort of recovers a little bit. So happy days, as far as I'm aware.
Totally. There's a couple of interesting points in the chat there, bro. So obviously, Lynn said that she said, "Yep, Daniel, and they target them at period pain or back pain and stuff, and there's no difference between that and the Boots brand." So yeah, that's also a good point. That one of the key marketing things that they do is they'll say this is really good for migraine, or this is really good for period pain, but it's like it's literally exactly the same as any ibuprofen. It isn't, doesn't have some like complex marketing.
It's always got that picture on where like it's just a normal body in like a shade of grey or white, and then the area that's in pain, it's got like a big red like glowing area on it.
Exactly. Yeah, dude.
Charlotte is talking about the change of colour of Santa Claus by Coca-Cola. Was it blue, really, Charlotte? I thought it was green. I thought originally Santa had like a green outfit on, and then they changed it to red.
That's insane.
You might be right, to be fair, Charlotte. But yeah, I was aware sort of, because they did the whole thing with a truck and that, didn't they, as well?
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. I didn't know that's where that came from. That's like,
So they rebranded Christmas, which was nice of them. They'll do it again. Don't worry. They'll change something. Okay, so next we've got Crayons of the World skin tone colours.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Take it away, Daniel.
Yeah, so basically, Crayola have released skin tone colours. So they've released 30 different, they call them colours of the world. And they've got like their own kind of colour chart here, and it just has kind of every skin tone that you might have available. So there's going to be no more red or blue people. Okay. And people are actually going to be able to be represented through actual skin tones. And their kind of slogan for it is that they're doing it to accurately, so children can accurately color themselves into the world. And it's going to be represented over 40 different skin tones, apparently.
Okay, right, I'm with you.
Yeah,
because for a second when I read that, right. So the subheading, that's why my face sort of screwed up, and I was like, "What?" The crayons will be wrapped in a gradient skin tone label with the color name in English, Spanish, and French. I thought for a second.
You thought it was going to be categorized.
I was like, hang on a minute. They can't have been that stupid. And then I scrolled down and I see and I was like, so it's the name of the color. So the colors are things like light golden, deep almond, medium deep rose. That they're not labeled like English, French, and Spanish. I was like,
wow, that would be terrible mishap.
Honestly, I was like, I don't know if we should have put this article on here. For a second, I was like,
that would have been awful. Yeah, that would have been a real mistake if they did that.
Oh, look, there's the English colour. Whoa.
Whoa. That wouldn't be good at all. But they're just named like they're just random.
You can't quite see it on this. Hang on, there we go. So yeah, you've got deep golden, medium deep golden, light golden. So there's a range of different colours.
And it's good as well because it's more accurate. You know, I mean, kids are always kind of coloring themselves.
Yeah,
I just think that they're actually able to represent that a bit more, a bit better now, instead of having like just block colors of
like
things.
A block pink or a block brown or a block. Yeah. Even like the white crayon, I don't think it's particularly representative of skin color.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool.
So,
that's cool.
I think it makes sense, to be fair.
Don't know how accurate I was as a kid. Not very, because being colorblind as well. Like, you know, there was lots of purple skies and yellow grass and that. So
there you go.
It wasn't great, but maybe they can do it. So
it's like surrealist art.
Yeah, where it's sort of. The crayons themselves will be wrapped in a gradient, skin tone, label, colour and name, such as colours of the world, will be available in July in a 24 and 32 count pack. God knows how much they'll cost because the Crayola, which I don't think are cheap.
Yeah,
but there will be a very, I imagine every single company that makes crayons will very quickly follow suit and be like, yeah, we're going to do that. So stand by at your whatever craft shop you go to, you might be able to pick them up.
Colours of the world.
Colours of the world. That's a good one.
That's pretty cool, man.
Next up, we've got some more environmental news by the looks of it. Renewable energy to be a big player in the UK.
Yes.
So,
this was it's a little bit of a it's a bit wordy, the article, but we'll try and condense it down a bit. The gist of it, dude, it's actually, I thought it was really interesting because it was talking about how the UK wasn't seen as a big kind of player in green energy or renewable energy, but they were saying now that that the UK is actually one of the global leaders, according to the World Economic Forum's Energy Transition Index. We're now we actually are the global leader in offshore wind, which is going to play an increasing role in bringing greenhouse gas emissions down.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that at all. And it's also, it was talking about...
So is it wind, like wind farms only, or is it across loads of different types of renewable energy?
For that particular index, it's just for offshore wind, I think. But I think that there is kind of other stuff that we're obviously taking the box for as well and trying to move towards. They mentioned something really interesting in that article, which I thought was really funny, was that they were saying that the grid, like the energy grid, like the national grid, it goes through the roof when after Coronation Street's on, because apparently after Coronation Street, that's when most people in the UK, according to this article, it's when most people in the UK get like a cup of tea. So we're saying that it's like a post Coronation Street brew, they call it. And there's like another.
Other soaps are available, by the way.
Yeah, other soaps are available.
You can watch EastEnders or Emmerdale, maybe even Hollyoaks if you're feeling up to it.
It's so interesting, and they were saying that
don't watch Hollyoaks for God's sake.
I know that point in time, there's been like a massive spike in the on the national grid. So they were saying like that's actually been reduced though by people's the way people are viewing things now. So they were saying that like streaming services and things like that have massively reduced it. So they were saying that like that's actually also going to help.
There won't be any like weird spikes in demand.
Yeah,
because everyone's watching stuff at a different time and that. That's cool.
Yeah. And they were saying that they can also kind of it's kind of like helps us to set smart appliances and stuff for things like that. So that can also help.
Because I know there was actually plans for a wind farm somewhere. Well, I seen them bringing in parts. I remember a little while ago, near mine, up in Marsden and Shields. Obviously in the sea. It's going to be offshore. But I don't know where. I think I've just Googled it, and it looks like Blythe. So they must have been taking them north.
All right. Pretty interesting, man.
But I think, I remember reading in the Gazette in January that there's a turbine plan lined up in one of the South Shields industrial estates as well. I don't know how far that got. It's a bit of a controversial one, I think.
Wow.
Apparently that kettle story's been going on for decades, Daniel.
Yeah, I just read that. I didn't know that was the first time I'd ever heard it.
Yeah, same. I've never. I mean, it makes sense in all fairness. Not as a little sort of anecdote, but it makes sense that if you're watching, like, say, I don't know, I imagine it happens when the football's on as well. Like on a Sunday when the football's on, not that it's on. The Bundesliga's on.
They mentioned in sports.
I imagine at half time on any given day, there's an upturn in energy use because everyone will go and put the kettle on or stick the microwave on for the dinner or whatever. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, makes sense. But I know that it's quite a controversial one, the old wind farms. But I think the offshore ones are pretty good because no one can complain about the noise, and it slightly might ruin someone's view. But they might have to just get on with it. Because we are sort of like ruining the planet as it goes.
No, you're right.
But yeah, no, it's good to see that because I think the big pull-out quote from the article is 20 years ago there was no vision that renewables could be a serious player in the UK, and now we seem to be, almost leading the way, which is nice.
Definitely.
I think that we're going to see some exciting changes. Vehicle upgrade is where solar power was 10 years ago. Yeah, so there's lots of plans. Well, some claim it to be good energy. I wonder. I was just about to see goodenergy.co.uk. They're just one of the companies, so they must be overseeing this story that we're talking about. But there'll be a few sort of movers and shakers in that. England half-time matches are notorious for needing cuppers. Yeah, definitely.
I can imagine.
Maybe it's a bit more,
Yeah.
actually. More than a cuppa sometimes. Yeah. But no, that's cool. Really good to see what's sort of backing the renewable energy sort of train.
Definitely, mate.
I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I know what you
I was sort of laughing because I seen what was up next. So we've foregone Idiot of the Week this week.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'll not even pin it on Daniel, I took the executive decision of just warning everyone that if you're worried about your eyesight, you definitely shouldn't be going out for a 30-mile or 60-mile round trip in your car to double check whether you can see or not.
Just in case you were wondering, guys.
if you're unsure whether you can see or not, don't get in your car. Don't go anywhere. Don't drive 30 miles to a tourist location, and then don't drive home either if you can't see.
Yes.
Just to reiterate that, just that's the message that I'm going to put out there. And this little segment right here is instead of Idiot of the Week, so take from that what you will. The rest of the story around it, not going to go into it, not going to get into the details. Think what you want to think. This bit particularly made us just think, I don't even know how you thought anyone was going to believe it.
It's so crazy.
That you
It's
went
so
for a
bad as
test
well.
drive to see if your eyesight was okay with your family in the car, putting them at incredible risk if you couldn't see.
It's literally...
don't know.
It's like the worst excuse you could have came up with, because it makes no sense at all, like, that you would do that.
What boggles my mind is that he had like however much time, like a week and a half to think this through and think, can I really get away with saying that I went on a 60-mile round trip to test my eyesight? And then he thought, I definitely can. Not having it, like, but yeah. So that's in place of it, and I did like some of the memes that spawned off of it. So there was quite a few good memes on Twitter. So the Barnard Castle, or Castle Barnard, if you're a reporter from down south, like they were saying. But they did some eye test memes. Should have gone to Barnard Castle. A Specsavers advert that says, "Don't come to us, go for a 30-mile drive." Barnard Castle, a sight for sore eyes. So yeah, I quite enjoyed.
Castle, a sight for sore eyes.
I quite enjoyed the memes. I thought they were very good and very, very clever.
Look at that one. That one's so good.
I will let you. I will let you decide what you think of Dominic Cummings and his entire story. But I thought if we isolate the test drive and your eyesight, don't go anywhere. Bit, then you can make your mind up that he might have won Idiot of the Week. I think people have been warned not to do it as well. And that was by the chairman of the Police Federation, who has urged people not to drive if they think their eyesight might be impaired, which, to be honest, I thought was common sense, but
I know,
obviously not. Yeah.
Even there was an article I saw on the side there, and it was saying that policemen say people are using Dominic Cummings as an excuse to break lockdown. So it's like, you know what I mean?
I'm laughing, but it's not really funny. But like I say, just I listened to his statement, and I let us know what you made of it. I'll not get into it because we've already had this conversation off camera, and it's really, really not worth me dredging it up again. So we're just going to move on. We're just going to, you know what, Dominic, see you later, mate. And we're going to move on to another person who is more of a genius, but equally quite a frustrating man to talk about. And there he is, Elon Musk. So, Daniel, I don't think you've seen any of the ones that I've picked this week.
Right,
unless you've come across them online, which is possible.
Potentially, but we'll see.
SpaceX is set to have its first ever human flight into the old outer space.
Oh, wow.
Today, actually, so at 21:33 British summertime on Wednesday, May the 27th, SpaceX is going to launch 2 NASA astronauts to the International Space Station. The first crewed International Space Station flight by a private company. So it's quite a like I say, it's quite a big moment in space travel. It's the first time anyone outside of NASA in the US has launched a mission to the with humans on it. I think it's saying there in December 2010, the company 8-year-old at the time launched its first commercial space capsule, the Dragon spacecraft, and it was carrying a wheel of cheese. In homage to a Monty Python sketch? Question mark.
Okay.
I don't know which one. I don't know. Maybe you guys know. It's been a slightly odd company. So if you remember, it's talking about here they launched that car into space, which I can probably find the picture of. You'll know the picture when I send it if it's there. There, that's the sort of screen cap of it. So they sent that. I believe it had a robot driver on it, and they just sort of floated it around, and then it came back down. That one, didn't it? It was like a reusable rocket, I think. Yeah, on a giant reusable rocket. So basically, founded it. That SpaceX, Elon Musk founded SpaceX on the goal of one day launching humans into space. So hopefully, all going well. You know, we don't want anything to go wrong. At 9:30 tonight, he will have done a one into space, and the space station will have 2 NASA astronauts. I think it's got their names somewhere. Not that we'll really know them, but Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley are set to be from Cape Canaveral in Florida. Okay. Which I thought was quite cool. So it's...
Oh, it is really cool.
It's that sort of thing. Because I know, if anyone remembers, I'm sure Virgin Atlantic was... No, Virgin Atlantic. Is it Virgin Galactic? Because they've got the whole range of things, haven't they? Is it Virgin
I remember,
Galactic?
yeah, they do.
They're on about like doing passenger flights, aren't they? Eventually, I think. I remember you could buy one. You buy a ticket for like, I think it was like $100,000 or something. $250,000 it would cost on that. But it's basically like a private individual can go to space essentially. So that, I think eventually that's where the route SpaceX are going to go. And obviously, good old Elon wants to go to Mars and that. So I assume this is one of the first steps on his journey.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that SpaceX in general is such like an anomaly, because I think that if you look at the list of space companies in the world, it's like I think NASA's one, and then SpaceX is second, and then it's like the Russian government, and then the Chinese government.
Yeah,
and
I think like, India have got like an alright one as well, haven't they?
Yeah, India. But to think that a private company is the second biggest space company in the world, and it's not a government like funded thing.
No.
Or now there's obviously partnerships with NASA, but to think that this is actually an actual private company that's become one of the biggest space companies in the world, it's amazing. It's just
No, it is
really
class.
Crazy,
I mean, to be fair, he makes a lot of the headlines, but I think a lot of the guys at the likes of SpaceX and Tesla are like some of the best minds in the industry.
For sure.
I think the companies get a bad rap because of the things he does and the way he goes on. But he is undoubtedly a genius.
For sure, yeah.
It's just he can't seem to keep his gob shut, which is a bit of a shame.
But I mean that's the thing, isn't it? It's like because he's a genius doesn't mean he's a good person.
Yeah,
you know?
he's just. I think his problem is he just hasn't really got a filter, and he sees things in one way, and that's it. He struggles a bit, but I think it's not him quoted in this article. So there's a little bit on here. So while SpaceX is contracted with NASA to conduct the flights to the International Space Station, it's free to conduct missions without NASA as well. And it has already signed up space tourists to fly on the 17-seater Crew Dragon, reportedly including even Tom Cruise. And prices remain high at $20 million a seat. The hope is that one day such flights might be affordable to many more people. So like I say, this is like the first moment of it starting to become like a commercial business. I think that's always been the model for SpaceX, is they want to be doing like commercially chartered flights. However, at the minute, I don't think any of us, even in our lifetime, will maybe make that. But it remains to be seen. You never know; they might crack it, and then it'll be like a normal flight, or like maybe a couple of grand to go
that would
up
be
and down into space.
The idea of that is just completely mind blowing.
Yeah.
That like, I'm just going to go to space for my holidays. Have like a little trip around space.
Well, they did that thing, didn't they? Because they're trying to colonize. He's trying to colonize Mars, and I'm sure they did a big like recruitment drive thing for like volunteers, and it it crashed the website and that. I'm sure, or if it didn't crash the website, it filled up in like a minute.
They're going to make a colony on Mars.
Yeah, supposedly that's his plan. I think. It's hard to tell with Elon online because you read some stuff and it's just not true. But yeah, I thought it was cool. Like I say, I imagine you'll be able to, if you log into Twitter or Facebook tonight, someone will be live broadcasting it. It'll be about 9:30 if you want to check it out. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Sure.
But like I say, it's the first time a non-government agency's launched a manned mission to the International Space Station. So it's one for the old history books, which I thought was kind of cool. Next one, bit more boring than that. No one's going to outer space, but it's Wuhan swabs 9 million people, test 6.5 million people for COVID-19 in 10 days. So Chinese officials in the city of Wuhan discovered a cluster of 6 COVID-19 cases around 2 weeks ago, and that was the first cases in more than a month. So they basically like hit the old test button and set a target of 11 million, and they're seemingly roughly on target to hit that.
It's a lot of people.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I think that what they were saying was they've been conducting 46,000 tests a day in some of the laboratories. So they've gone from 46,000 a day up to 1.47 million.
Wow.
That's according to the New York Times. They've been doing neighborhood by neighborhood sweeps to obviously get as many tests done as possible. And they're basically doing a massive track and trace operation. So I think they did get some test results back. So far, the testing campaign has identified 218 asymptomatic cases, according to them, and they're in quarantine. So it's basically more just a new, like a model that we might end up with something similar. Hopefully, that will be the way to do it.
Yeah, definitely,
and something to maybe call for, I'd imagine.
Yeah. They've invested so much into the testing.
Well, you have to. That's the problem.
Testing's key.
Or not the problem, but that's the.
It's a solution.
The frustration, I think, is that you want to be as proactive as you can with it, and that's the kind of scale that I think we need to be aiming for.
Oh, definitely,
really,
definitely. And they've got like a load of checkpoints as well, so that like at the checkpoints, they'll probably be testing and things like that, or at least it's like what we looked at it before, didn't we? Like a little bit the system. Yeah. And it's once you've got your like green thing, it shows that you've been tested, and then it'll be a similar thing with that, like.
Wristband, QR codes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly right, man.
And it's just keeping a handle on, and it's like you say, neighborhood by neighborhood. Yeah. And tests at different checkpoints and outside schools and any kind of public places where there's like large gatherings of people and that.
Definitely.
So some residents have told the Times they oppose the testing campaign because it forced them to have more contact with others and potentially putting them at risk of infection. However, others argue that the testing offered psychological benefits as people head back to work. So I think that's the main takeaway, is that if you're going to be sort of in an environment like a workplace or a school or any kind of public place, that this has to happen. If you want to open the economy back up, there has to be this safety net in place where people feel reassured enough to be there, I think.
Yeah.
I reckon anyway.
And I think that the ends probably justify the means, where like the amount of money that you're going to spend on testing, you're going to get back by being able to get people back into work.
Yeah,
I mean, so it's like
you're going to have to invest in people's safety now. Like there's no option, because
exactly
a lot of people probably aren't happy about going back to work, or probably aren't happy about the kids going back to school.
Sure.
And which is fair enough. Quickly catch up on the old chat. So, we must have been talking about England, but Lynn was just saying half-time in England matches you usually need a hanky, not a cuppa to cry in.
True.
And then we've just put penalties in capital letters. Lynn was saying such a coincidence, it was his wife's birthday when he went for his little journey to Barney. Yeah, that's Dominic Cummings again. Can I test my lack of vision by driving a marked car in the shops, do you think? You might get in a bit of trouble for that as well, to be fair. Yeah, might be a surgeon visitor as to Barnard Castle now, because it's got a bit more rep. What was the noise behind Dominic Cummings' press event? I think it was was it not some kind of like instrument? I'm sure it was like a tuba or something. It was really loud though, or like just a horn, maybe, I don't know. A flying pig. I don't know what that was in response to. Tim Peake was on about this and he was quite supportive because essentially it's an expensive business and the serious space people need the cash from the private. So yeah, if in that article from Wired, they were saying that NASA's funding's obviously federal, which means it comes from the government. So in the Bush administration, many things went wrong in the Bush administration, but one of them was there was quite a lack of funding for NASA, and it sort of limped on ever since. So this is like a massive. They can make deals with the private sector like SpaceX to fill the gaps. And put tenders out to different companies. Boeing, the airplane manufacturer, are also involved in some of the stuff and build some of the things because obviously they know the tech for flights. Lockdown training from Mars. Yeah, I mean, that's, to be fair, they do a lot of psychological tests on how you'll react to being alone or isolated or having minimal interactions and limited food and stuff. So it's probably not a million miles away from what you'd be subjected to if you were going to outer space, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe Dominic Cummings could be sent to Mars. I mean, yeah, but you'd probably have to do like a 30-minute flight, like just out to, say, about halfway to the moon, see if he's all right, and then he'd come back, pick up the rest of his stuff and go. So yeah, we'll see about that. Don't know if there's much childcare on Mars either, to be fair.
Probably not.
But yeah. Less said about him the better, to be honest with you. Last one, a little bit more fun than the last two. I've closed it again. Oops. It's an article on wired.co.uk, which is very good for any technology news or TV and film news. Very, very good little source of things like this. So the 49 of the best films on Netflix UK right now. This is a week old, this article. Exactly 7 days ago, but I think they did it when the bulk of stuff got added, because obviously Netflix goes in that like weird cycle where it loses the rights to things.
Yes,
I think this was done
contracts, right? For like a certain amount of time.
I think this was done after a load of films went on there. So there's a few on there, so I'm just gonna have a quick scroll through. So there's one, The Big Night. I've not seen that one. There's The Social Network, which is about Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook. Pretty good. Mean Streets, which is De Niro.
It's Scorsese, right?
Yeah, very good film.
It's good. It's good. It's his first film, I think.
Is it his first one? His first Hollywood?
No, it's not. It's one of his first films. One of his first.
Well, it's 73 anyway, so it's a classic. There's Flight with Denzel Washington in. Space Jam with Michael Jordan.
Oh, I watched that the other day.
Yeah, well, obviously Space Jam's got Michael Jordan in, but he's got the Bulls documentary, The Last Dance, which is out at the minute, which I definitely recommend checking out.
Yeah, I love that. Still got 2 more episodes to go. I'm watching it tonight, actually.
Princess I don't know how to say that. Mononoke.
Princess Mononoke. Yeah, it's a big film. It's Studio Ghibli. Yeah. It's
okay,
great.
there you go. Daniel knows that one. Tell Me Who I Am. I, Tonya. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Very good.
Oh, it's classic.
If Ella's watching, I know that's one of her favourite movies as well. Bueller. It, 2017, The King's Speech. So there's a bunch on there. I will put that in the description.
Fun, man.
Actually, for you to check out. So, you guys have probably got... what was I going to say? Oh, Netflix. Yeah, you probably got Netflix. But if you don't, you can sign up for a free trial. And if you've already used your free trial, use a different email. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Netflix and movies I'll put. So that's going to be in the description in a second. Once I press save. Yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff on there. Uncut Gems is a very good one, actually, that I didn't talk about.
Class,
I've just seen.
It's really good. With Adam Sandler, obviously, and it's made by the Safdie brothers, who are like really good up and coming director duo. Two brothers, like a bit like the Coen brothers, and they make really good films, which are really anxiety inducing.
Oh, it is. It's like you need, if you're gonna watch it, you need to be relaxed. Don't watch it if you're stressed out.
Yeah,
it's in terms of the camera work, it's all over the place, but it's really good, and it's Adam Sandler's in it, and it's not what I was expecting from an Adam Sandler movie. Very well made, and he's that's probably the best I've ever seen him act, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's definitely up there with his bet. He's had a couple of.
He got snubbed, right, for that completely.
He did. Yeah,
it did really poorly at the.
He got Best Actor at the Independent Spirit Awards.
Okay,
which is like
that's not too bad.
Known,
to be fair,
it's still pretty good. Yeah,
decent. I think it got snubbed for an Oscar nom, and he got snubbed for it as well. I think at the Oscars, which is a shame, really, because like I said, it's probably the best performance of his career.
He's great. He's really good now.
Apparently, I'm
Kevin
getting
Garnett, the basketball, is really good now.
Yeah, Kevin Garnett's just randomly in it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Quick little update on, because I sort of like rambled on about it for about an hour the last time.
Okay.
I found a screenshot. Well, not a screenshot, an image on the BBC website that explains the app, the track and trace app, a little bit better.
All right, yeah.
So
Brilliant.
we've got the two methods of the way the data is going to be processed. So if you the new app that's coming out and it's not out yet, I think they're aiming for this first. If I remember listening to Matt Hancock correctly. Not that I take in a lot of what he says because I don't find him to be very engaging.
What you call it? Have you ever seen Charlie Brooker's Screen Vibe?
Yeah.
They did a coronavirus one. It's
so
funny.
No, I'm gonna have to watch it, but I don't know if I'm gonna be happy or like depressed. I don't know which one.
It's so funny, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically when A and B meet, their phones exchange a key code via Bluetooth. If someone becomes infected, so A, they update the status in the app. There's two ways of doing it, and the way that's being sort of criticised at the minute that the government are looking at is this centralised one. So the phone provides its own anonymised ID plus codes gathered from other phones to a centralised database, as in it's stored on a server that the government are maintaining somewhere in an undisclosed location. Computer server uses a database to contact the matching and risk analysis plus sends alerts. So then if it sees that two people have been in close contact and one of them's been potentially infected, it'll send out an alert to them. The decentralized one, the phone provides own anonymized ID only to the centralized database, and then the phone downloads that database and it's done in the phone. So it's processed so the phone does the matching. So it'll say, right, okay, those two people are connected, and then it sends the alert. Whereas the other one's done on the server side, so that information is stored somewhere in a physical location on like a server, which is like a big box, a bunch of hard drives in it. Whereas the other model does it on your phone, which means only your device has that information on, which makes it harder to be like breached. And that's why it's facing a little bit of criticism at the minute. Nothing's set in stone with it yet, to be fair, so it's best off not worrying about it and just having a little look into it. But that image there sums up a little bit better than what I managed to last time. And Matthew is saying at this point we'll probably end up spreading COVID to Mars somehow. Yeah, we'll find a planet with life on it and just totally ruin it. Probably that'll be like humanity's like final hurrah of get stuffed. We're here. Yeah. As in pigs fly, is in a pack of lies. Right, okay, I get you, Lynn. The noise actually sounded like the Brexit opposition people maybe shouting outside down the street. Yeah, actually, it does. It sort of sounds, because they were doing that on BBC News for a little while, weren't they? Outside of like the press conferences and stuff when the whole Brexit vote, like what was it? They were getting interviewed on telly. Can you remember, Daniel? Like
I kind of.
I think it was on either the day of the results or something, but there was a guy out there with like a trumpet, I think he had. And he was just like, he was constantly like playing it over the top of someone getting interviewed for like an hour and a half. So fair play, because that's lungs of steel right there.
Yeah, it's headache material.
Oh, definitely. So with that in mind, with you mentioning headache material, it is time.
Segue.
You know what time it is.
I know.
I can't even find the link, so I'm just sort of stalling here a little bit.
The link's in the description for the thingy.
Oh, nearly definitely there. I caught it. I caught it this time. Let's just drop that down. You know what time it is, everyone. You know. Oh, hang on. That's why I haven't done it right. Let's do it now.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Come on. What are you waiting for?
Oh no, I've ruined it. I've broken it. Nothing's going right. Stop it. What about...
Kill me.
There we are. Okay, there you go. You've been alarmed. Everyone's alarmed. Everyone's happy. Or not happy. Everyone's deaf. So yeah, if you guys can fill that survey in for us, that'll be fantastic. See, Lynn gets it. It's survey time. Is that survey link right, Daniel? Have you done that one?
Yeah, I did that one, mate.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Because I forgot.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
Until I just.
I literally, if I'm 100% honest with you, I did it while we were in the middle of something. Just quickly, but yeah, it's
only the finest production values here at Media Savvy. Like, you get it all. You get everything. You get like a view of Uncle Leon dancing, the captain dancing to his new track. So yeah, cool. If you guys can fill that survey in, it's 1 minute past 5, so we've waffled on for an entire hour.
Yeah, easily done. Great.
But let me consult my notes because I'll have forgot to say something. Yes, so I am running a digital skills for beginners course tomorrow, which there's plenty of space on. And if you can't make it tomorrow, you can also watch it in your own time. So if anyone's interested in talking through or looking at things like online shopping and different accounts and different apps,
yes,
like we sort of rambled on about today a little bit. I think Daniel, you're going to join us actually, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be there as well. So if you guys want more amazing banter,
yes,
obviously it's going to be a bit more serious, obviously, with us teaching it, but we'll have him teaching it, but we'll still be able to fit a few jokes in, I'm sure, now and then.
Well, no pressure. No pressure. It's not going to be a stand-up gig, unfortunately.
Yeah, believe it or not.
But you know, even if just you want to come in and ask some questions in the chat, if I can get you guys even after the stream to fill in an enrollment form, that'll be greatly appreciated, because that's how those courses get funded. That is at 1 till 3 tomorrow, so it's on for 2 hours. Like I say, digital skills for beginners, some like account safety, how to sign up to different things, what you're signing up to, online shopping, that sort of thing. Things to be aware of when you're doing them online. I think it's especially relevant like now that everything's being done sort of online.
Definitely.
So give me a shout if you want to do that. Email or Facebook message will be great.
Yeah.
Daniel, you've got your video editing on Friday, I believe.
Yes, I do. Yeah. So, guys, a few of the people in here today, I think, were joining me for that last one. So, appreciate you stopping by for that, guys. Yes, once again, it is 10 to 12 on Friday. I'm not 100% on what we're going to be editing yet. I've got a couple of different ideas, but I'll be sure to let you guys know as soon as I do. And yeah, it should be good. Should be good fun.
It's been good so far. You've done what have you done so far? So you did.
So the first one we did a photo slideshow. Yeah. We went through the basics of just kind of how to use HitFilm Express, and we kind of looked at how to make a photo slideshow, how to use transitions, how to put a title in, and then on the second video, because a lot of people always get requests all the time about footage. We cut like a horror scene together, like a scene from a scene from a horror film, and that was great as well, because in the resources there's the raw footage for that, so they have literally like all of the pre-roll and everything. And then we've got some sound effects in there as well, and we've also got some like themes as well to put under it, and we can kind of, and I thought it was really cool for us to kind of cut that together, cut that together.
Cut it together, and then did you put it together or not?
And then we put it together as well.
Ah, good. As long as it's together.
Yeah, so it's together.
No, so cool. Anyone's got any suggestions or requests or things they would like to know? Daniel's your man for video editing.
Yeah. If you want it, the Mad Axeman in yellow, that's right, Lynn. So that was the guy, and that was one of my favorites. So like, if you watch through that as well, that was probably my favorite part, was kind of cutting on action, because there's a bit where she wakes up, and it's really cliche, but just to kind of show how that actually works. Like he goes to cut with a knife, and cutting on that, like just showing how a hard cut can work.
Yeah.
Like how effective a hard cut can be.
Yeah. Especially in a horror film.
Exactly.
No, that's cool.
But I would suggest, though, guys, if you do want to get involved with the video editing sessions, I would suggest that you start with the first video. It's up there on YouTube. Then it'll run you through how to install it and how to get set up and everything. So we went through that in the first session. And if you follow that first video, it should give you a good kind of foundation of how to use the software a bit. But like, if you haven't used it already, but I am there as well in case you want to email me or anything like that.
Yeah. I've got a quick note because Ella's just sent me a message. All right, no, it's all right. I'll sort that. It's about the schedule. So a couple of the streams are going to be replays. So if you guys check out tomorrow morning, the schedule should be up for the next week. So obviously we've got Digital Skills for Beginners tomorrow. Give me a shout if you want to get involved. We've got Daniel doing video editing on the morning on Friday, and then we've got another Staying Connected with a special guest on Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
And that's this week, and then the schedule for next week's going to go out tomorrow morning. So keep an eye out for that, and you guys can see what you can get involved with. If anyone's got any suggestions, pop them in that survey. If anyone wants to talk about anything else that we're either not doing or you want to get involved with, drop us an email, drop us message the Facebook page if you haven't got anyone's contact information, and the relevant person will pick it up. If you guys are on Twitter, I don't know how many people are on Twitter, the DMs on there should be open, I think, for you to drop us a message on there. Like I say, any other way that you've got our contact information, even if it's a text, you can drop us one of them.
Yeah.
And that should be all right. So I think that's everything covered. All the bases have been covered. And we'll get out your hair because it's now 5:10 almost.
Yeah.
So cheers for stopping by, and obviously as always, thanks for joining in. And if you can like the video and obviously subscribe to the channel if you haven't. But I think most of you guys who are here today have. But yeah, just stay in touch and just keep getting involved because we really enjoy it when you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. We've got quite a good knit group of people attending most of the sessions here, so thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, really appreciate that, and have a good rest of your Wednesday, my dudes. We'll see you. I will see you tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Okie dokie. See you later, guys.
Ta-da!